Have you ever wondered what happens to celebrities after the spotlight fades? Behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, some of our most beloved stars have faced devastating personal battles that changed their lives forever. In this video, we'll reveal the shocking true stories of 10 famous celebrities who went from red carpet premieres to rock bottom. These aren't just tabloid rumors. We've spent months researching court documents, interviews, and verified sources to bring you the real stories that the entertainment industry doesn't want you to see. And while some of these tales end in tragedy, others show the incredible power of human resilience and redemption. Before we begin, I need to mention that many of these stories deal with serious issues like addiction and mental health. While we'll be respectful in our coverage, viewer discretion is advised. From an action movie legend who went from fighting vampires to fighting the IRS, to a beloved child star now living on the streets of Los Angeles, these stories will change how you think about fame forever. Let's dive in. Picture this. You're one of Hollywood's biggest action stars, commanding $10 million per movie, and then suddenly, you're trading your mansion for a prison cell. This was the reality for Wesley Snipes, star of the Blade trilogy and New Jack City. But what really happened to take him from box office success to federal prison? The story begins in the late 1990s, when Snipes became involved with a group that promoted a controversial tax theory. This decision would eventually lead to charges of tax evasion, a highly publicized trial, and ultimately, a 3-year prison sentence from 2010 to 2013. While Snipes has since returned to acting, his career never fully recovered to its former heights. What if you peaked at age 12? For Danny Bonaduce, star of the Partridge Family, early fame would lead to a lifetime of struggles. Imagine being recognized everywhere you go for a role you played as a child, while battling demons that nobody could see. In the years following his iconic role as Danny Partridge, Bonaduce's life took a series of dramatic turns. The child star found himself homeless, living in his car behind Grauman's Chinese Theater, the same place where tourists would come to see the handprints of Hollywood's greatest stars. But his story takes an unexpected turn. Through radio hosting and stand-up comedy, Bonaduce managed to rebuild his life, proving that sometimes rock bottom can be a foundation. "What you talking about, Willis?" became one of TV's most famous catchphrases. But for Todd Bridges, who played Willis Jackson on Different Strokes, life after the show was no laughing matter. At just 23, Bridges found himself facing something far more serious than sitcom drama. The beloved child actor's path led him through the darkest corners of addiction and legal troubles. But here's where his story takes an inspiring turn. Bridges not only fought his way back to sobriety, but transformed his struggles into strength, becoming a powerful voice for addiction recovery and mental health awareness. Today, he helps others find their way out of the same darkness he once faced. Think about the happiest, most energetic performer you know. Now imagine that same person battling deep depression behind the scenes. That's the reality Jim Carrey faced at the height of his career. The man who made millions laugh was fighting his own internal battles. What many don't realize is that some of Carrey's most brilliant comedic performances came during periods of intense personal struggle. While starring in blockbuster hits and earning millions per film, he was also fighting a private war with depression. Rather than hide his struggles, Carrey made the brave decision to speak openly about mental health, helping to break down stigmas in Hollywood and beyond. Sometimes, the most shocking falls from grace happen to those whose names you might not immediately recognize. In the early 2000s, Lonnie Willison graced magazine covers as a fitness model, living what seemed to be a perfect life in Los Angeles. Few could have predicted where she would end up just a few years later. Today, Willison's story has become one of Hollywood's most heartbreaking cautionary tales. Now living on the streets of Los Angeles, pushing a shopping cart filled with her belongings, her story raises uncomfortable questions about mental health supports and the temporary nature of fame. Despite numerous attempts by former friends to help, Willison's situation remains one of the industry's most tragic current realities. Imagine going from starring in blockbuster films to seeking refugee status in Canada. That's exactly what happened to Randy Quaid, whose story might be one of Hollywood's strangest downfalls. The actor, known for roles in Independence Day and National Lampoon's Vacation series, found himself running from what he called Hollywood star whackers. In the late 2000s, Quaid's behavior became increasingly erratic, leading to legal troubles and his eventual flight to Canada with his wife. The same man who once portrayed lovable eccentrics in major films became entangled in real-life conspiracy theories and legal battles that would make even his most outlandish movie plots seem tame in comparison. What drives a father to take his own son's life? The story of Marvin Gaye isn't just about the loss of a musical legend, it's about a painful family tragedy that ended one of soul music's greatest voices. One day before his 45th birthday, the man who asked what's going on would face his final tragic moment. Despite creating timeless classics that defined an era, Gaye's personal life was filled with turmoil. His battles with addiction and family conflicts reached a devastating climax in 1984. The soul singer who once sang about healing and understanding met a violent end at the hands of his own father, turning his last day into one of music history's darkest chapters. Imagine carrying the weight of Hollywood's most famous family name on your shoulders. For John Drew Barrymore, being part of the legendary Barrymore dynasty wasn't a blessing. It was a curse that would haunt him until his final days. The father of actress Drew Barrymore struggled to live up to his family's legacy, battling alcoholism and legal troubles throughout his career. His story serves as a sobering reminder that even the most prestigious Hollywood lineage can't protect someone from their inner demons. In 2004, after years of estrangement from his famous daughter, he passed away from liver cancer, marking another tragic chapter in the Barrymore family saga. How does a hit TV show starring role turn into homelessness? For Brett Butler, star of Grace Under Fire, the path from television success to rock bottom was paved with both personal demons and industry pressures. At the height of her fame in the 1990s, Butler was earning $250,000 per episode. But money couldn't solve her deepest problems. Despite the success of her show, Butler's struggles with substance abuse and mental health challenges eventually led to the show's cancellation. But here's where her story takes an unexpected turn. After years of hardship, including a period of homelessness, Butler has managed to continue acting while becoming a powerful voice for recovery, proving that even in Hollywood, second acts are possible. What happens when a child star's biggest battle isn't with fame, but with their own health? Gary Coleman's story isn't just about the curse of child stardom. It's about a life marked by medical challenges, financial exploitation, and a search for dignity that lasted until his final days. The Different Strokes star faced a perfect storm of challenges: kidney disease that stunted his growth, parents who he later sued for mismanaging his earnings, and an entertainment industry that struggled to see him as anything other than Arnold Jackson. When Coleman passed away in 2010 at just 42 years old, he left behind not just a legacy of laughter, but also serious questions about how Hollywood treats its youngest stars. These 10 stories show us that fame and fortune are no shield against life's hardest battles. But the entertainment industry's transformations aren't always tragic. Some stars have undergone incredible journeys of their own. Speaking of transformations, you won't believe how some of Hollywood's most iconic celebrities have changed over the decades. Click the video on your screen now to watch timeless beauties then and now see their transformations. You'll be amazed at how these legends have evolved through the years. And if you found this video eye-opening, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're bringing you fascinating Hollywood stories every week, uncovering the real stories behind the glamour.